All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Crave Show with Chris and J Russ. And we've got Leah Levy, right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Awesome. Nice to have you here with us. J Russ, how's it been going, man?
Really well. Yeah, really well. We're out in Arizona. We worked a couple of weeks of contract. Leah and I worked the same contract, and I had guys like 5 days, not anything scheduled. It was insane.
Well, you don't even know what to do with yourself.
I video gamed the entire day Monday, and but then on Tuesday I was like, man, I can't do that anymore. I gotta get out and do something.
Got to get some sunshine.
Yeah.
That's
But
hilarious.
Bean has been loving it. She's checking out the camera right now, actually, but just getting to spend full days with her, which is great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. I think we should start. We're going to start. We've never done this before, Leah. So you're going to be part of our experiment. Okay.
Okay.
Let's each say two things that you're thankful for.
Hmm.
Who wants to go
Whew.
first?
Man, I gotta lead in with my wife. Um, and considering some of the stuff that's going on around me, not me, I'm glad I'm in pretty good health.
Hmm. So those are your two things, Steph and good health.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. Leah?
I'll say I'm thankful for how busy I am right now. That's
Hmm.
always a good feeling, a blessing. And where I live in Eloy, like the community, the house, everything I've got going on here. So
Nice. I'm really thankful for the guys that I work with at the tunnel. They're just really nice, fun. Like we just have fun together. Um, and even when we have like boring days or hard customers or whatever, it's just they're just fun. They're fun to hang out with, fun to work with. Like I look forward to going up to the tunnel partly because of those guys, and so that's really cool. Um, and yeah, I'm very thankful for my wife too. Yeah,
I feel
she's
like I got to throw in I'm thankful for my husband too, then, if you guys are.
there. You go.
Well,
Yeah.
I if I'm guessing if relationships are anything like mine, I bet Cherry might lead in with that. I'm really thankful for Leah because it's not like I survived before Steph, but it's so much better now. And yeah, so maybe that's just what guys need, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to get politically correct about anything, but yeah, he might have to start with I'm so thankful for Leah for the same reasons,
Yeah, we'll see what he says. You lead with that
yeah,
question next
I,
week.
I booked her husband for next week.
Okay. Nice. Very cool.
Yeah. Um,
Well, I don't know if you're like me, J Russ, but it's taken me a long time. I'm still learning how to be better about this. But just at the beginning of our marriage, like some of our differences, some of the things that Tanya naturally did, they were really frustrating to me
mm,
because it was kind of against. I'm going to say against my nature. I don't know if that's really the best way to say it, but like she's very organized. She likes to plan and think things through in advance, and I'm a little bit more kind of by the seat of my pants, just kind of let's figure it out as we go.
mm,
And at the beginning of our marriage, that kind of frustrated me that she always wanted to like figure everything out before, like let's just say we're going to go on a trip, a weekend trip, I don't know, and she wants to plan and think through it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like can we just go? Like let's just go have fun. Like stop worrying about it. But then we'd go on a trip, and if she did it my way, well, then we wouldn't have the things we needed, or we wouldn't have scheduled the whatever. It wouldn't. There would be things happen that we could have planned for, and it would have made the trip better and smoother. But I was being me, and now I think I've gotten a lot better about appreciating the differences because I see how the things that are different, a lot of those differences, she's actually helping, like you said, Jairus, helping make my life easier and better if I will just let her do those things that she's good at. And I think in turn, she's also seen in me how sometimes my spontaneity and just like by the seat of my pants, sometimes she needs to just chill out and like, let's just go do something fun and appreciate that too. And so what were you gonna say, JRuss?
I
Because
was
you
going to ask Leah because I don't because we both said our wives, and then she felt like she had to say her husband. So now, without my input, Leah, where do you fall on which side of Chris's
Well, that's what
equation there?
I was gonna say. That's probably exactly where the same frustrations come from, but also the blessings in disguise. Where like I'm the more high strung person. Like how did we not think this through and everything? And he, if anything, has taught me more to like go with the flow, appreciate time with friends, take down time and everything. So I am your wife in that situation. I'm wondering if it's a female thing.
Well,
I don't think it.
Hey, Russ can shed light.
no, well, I don't know if it's a female thing either, but we're 3 for 3 here because Steph will
Okay.
plan everything down to the tiniest detail. Everything is done, and I just have to show up. And I don't know if it bothered me in the beginning. I don't think it did. It's just not my style. Like I would, if I have to leave at 9 a.m., I'm probably going to pack around 7 a.m. You know, and um, and
Yes,
like
I love
Steph
it.
is
Yes.
fully packed 2 days before we got to go, and
Yep.
um, but then there's other differences too that I don't think are, I don't know. I mean that one I definitely appreciate, but like
Okay.
I think the differences typically are complementary.
Okay. So I want to know that because Tanya, my wife, she does not jump. She doesn't skydive.
Okay.
But your husband, what's his name?
David Cherry.
David. Okay. And so he jumps, right? I'm assuming. Okay. So J Russ and Leah, both y'all, how do you see those differences play out in skydiving?
Mm. I actually I like her way better now because like there's so many times oh man I left both cameras at home. Shit, I don't even have an altimeter right now. Uh, there's been times where I've gone not to work I set up better, but where like somebody asked me to fun jump on the weekend, sure. Oh, I use this helmet in the tunnel, I don't have audibles, I don't normally wear a visual, I've got nothing, can anybody loan me an altimeter? I'm just retarded at the drop zone, which I probably shouldn't be at my level, but um yeah, her way's better.
Leah,
Yeah.
well, how do you see the differences between y'all?
Well, I'll have a follow up question for J Russ after that one.
Oh, go ahead.
Working with your spouse in skydiving, but I would say like on a same thing but like flip side, like where I've for a while was like I need to go to this camp and I need to fly in the tunnel like weekly and I need to save money for this thing, and he's more of the like, or we could just fun jump and go on a sunset angle and like flock afterwards. So like he in that regard will like tone me down and remind me that like this is supposed to be fun,
Mm.
like, so but working wise, because we work together too within the industry, like we have a design media studio and we do a lot of photo video work together, and when it comes to work stuff I'd say he's very organized and high strung in that regard. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
personality versus work wise. And so I was going to ask J Russ, like, do you notice that working together?
um at work I feel very different. I feel like there's a lot of like in the 10 or 12 years that I've been doing the military work we're doing, there was a jump last year where I changed my shirt in the middle of the day one time, and I didn't wear my altimeter because I put it in my locker, put the new shirt on, like it was getting warm, and I took layers off, and then I forgot to pick my altimeter back up. So in all those jumps, I forgot my altimeter once, and I still think about that on almost every day that I'm at work. Like like I, I feel like there's more pressure there to be more on Steph's side of the organization.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you, Jairus, a minute ago, did you say you normally don't jump with a visual altimeter? Is that what you said?
100% of team jumps are not with a visual.
Okay.
And I like, I'm not counseling anyone else to do this. I'm not saying it's the right way to do things. I'm saying that when you're turning points relatively quickly, it's really annoying to land on an altimeter, and
Mm.
it's a distraction, and it can definitely interfere with the grip. So for for and I got a funny anecdote about that. But so I stopped wearing it. I have two audibles, as does every other person on my team, and I think most people would agree the statistical probability of 10 audible altimeters failing on the same skydive is virtually zero. Um, and not only that, but I think on team jumps, I have a really good internal clock on like we're at the end. Yep, there's my altimeter, and within a second or two, I know the skydive's over. Um, and again, I'm not saying anybody else should do that. I'm not advising anybody to, and but it is an individual sport sometimes, and you can make those choices if you like to, whether you think they're stupid or not. And I have had success with not. But then there's some other things like Andy, my teammate, will fight. He wants to wear an altimeter because he's going to fight every malfunction until his decision altitude, and I'm
That was a
not.
favorite question. Do you just
Yeah,
go ahead and perform emergency procedures right away then?
like if it's not coming back instantly, I'm out of there. I like a lot of us. I just have friends that aren't with us because they did that. They fought and then they were made like think about a spinning malfunction where how long does it take before blood's not fully in your head anymore, and now it doesn't matter if you're looking at the altitude, you can't process clearly. Like I'm not a fighter, but he's got, I'm going to conservatively say he's got around 18,000 jumps and I've got around 26,000, and I have 25 chops and he has like 5. um and so he's definitely proven that it can be done, and he's saved $2,000 over what I've done, but anyway. Yeah, so I don't know, but if I'm organizing, I'm going to wear one because I feel like I don't want to set a bad example, and I'm required to wear one at work, so I'll always have one on.
Okay. Can we? So, all right, Leah, we are going to ask you some questions about. We
Yeah.
want to hear about you in a minute, but this is interesting to me because I've kind of like I've talked to a few people about this, just like around the drop zone and anecdotally, and there was a time where I was jumping. I'm going to say maybe I did 200 jumps. I'm going to say I don't know without a visual altimeter. I don't remember what happened. I think one day I forgot my visual. All I had was an audible. And so that's all I jumped with that day was an audible. And by the end of the day, I was like, well, what's wrong with that? And I'm not saying, like you said, JRuss, I'm not saying people should. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm honestly asking, is that okay? What do you guys like? Is that
I
okay?
don't I don't think one audible is okay.
Okay.
I like
Because
I
why?
well, because it's an electronic device. It can fail. The battery can go dead. Like that's not enough redundancy in my mind.
Okay.
Um, Leah, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I understand when you're at the elite level turning points so quickly that would become an interference, and at that level you're experienced enough to make that big boy decision. I think in any other regard, I feel like that's one form of insurance we can buy in a risky sport is to have that visual and an audible,
Mm,
both as backup. So I I mean, I've load organized before and like gotten on, like, and people I'm jumping with forget theirs, and I'm like, okay, I have an audible. I feel comfortable on this one jump giving it to you. But like, even if it was a full day thing, I'm like, I like mine. I believe people should jump with them, but
yeah.
I
I mean,
fully
I,
understand
I,
the scenario.
I started wearing a visual again, and now I wear it, and I have both. But like I said, I went for quite a while with just an audible because I kind of got, I guess I just got comfortable, and it just felt okay. And I'm not saying that should be. I'm honestly asking, like, so what about two audibles, J Russ? Would you, if we were jumping together, like we're gonna
Mhm.
spend a weekend just fun jumping together, and I tell you, hey, I'm not gonna wear a visual. I'm just gonna use two audibles. Are you okay with that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think two audibles, especially, I mean, they could both go dead on the same jump, and obviously that is a possibility. But I think that's a very slight chance, very small
Mm-hmm.
statistically. And I wear two different kinds, and one of them is a Russian made called a Vogue, and it you can set it to like say things, say the altitudes basically, and I can check on my phone what the battery level is, and I can change the altitudes, which is super nice. I don't have to take my helmet off. And the other one is we're sponsored by L&B, and I use their products other than that Vogue that was given to me for free, and I like it. Hopefully, I don't get in trouble with my sponsors right now. But okay, so my anecdote, and then we got to talk about Leah. The team rhythm. We had Steve Lefkowitz on the podcast in the past, and he asked me that question. And we were working with Andrew Happick, which is what it was his teammate at that time on rhythm. I worked with him all last couple of weeks, and he's a really quiet guy. Like he hardly says 2 words. And we're in the plane, and Steve Lefkowitz says, "J Russ, you're not wearing a visual." And I said, "Yeah, I don't wear one when we're team training. My teammates have said it's annoying, and like, um, I don't really need it. I don't think I need it. I'd only look at it in the plane." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm wearing mine, and my teammates doesn't bother them at all." And Andrew turns and looks at him, like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I hate that thing. It's so distracting when I land on it." And I was like, "Oh wow, I I didn't mean to like spark a team fight here. But for a super quiet guy, it was a really funny response. Yeah. Okay, Leah, who are you? Tell people who you are.
Oh, okay, quick bio. I've been skydiving a little over 10 years. I've got about 2,200 jumps. I wish it was more, but I think I've forged my own path. I mainly I've done everything from manifest to packing, coaching, tandem video, briefly tandem instructing last year. I still load organize a lot. I'm a senior rigger civilian contractor with the military. But these days I'm pretty much like full-time graphic design. And I work for like UPT and Cookie Beyond Marketing, and then a lot of freelance. So if you see people walking around in jumpsuits and rigs and helmets, or drops on advertisements and stuff like that, like I've probably touched a little bit of it. So
So,
brief description.
is that it? Are you done? Because I got tons of questions. Okay. So I wanted to point out, like, we have my cookie, my comp helmet is in the car, but you designed those. You designed those for us. Those. Do you know what I'm talking about, Chris? It's like a sticker pack of vinyl stickers that they give you real specific instructions. There's a tutorial online, and you basically customize your cookie helmet. And Leah did our customization, and a bunch of other teams, as far as I'm aware.
Hmm.
Is that's true, right? You do that for Cookie? Yep.
Yep.
And you designed one of our former teammate Johnny Gunn's rigs. It's beautiful. It's out at the facility all the time. You have a repurposing company for canopies. Do you want to tell
I
us about
forgot.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I own a small business called Levity. It was my senior thesis turned into like a small business, and it's taking non-airworthy parachutes and turning it into new products like backpacks, fanny packs, hammocks, swings. Yeah, I do manage juggle a lot. That's kind of taken the back burner the past few months just because I've been so busy. Again, a blessing. Um, but yeah, these days mainly graphic design, levity, skydiving, those three things.
Do you have is there a website for Levity?
Yeah, it is levityreimagined.com.
LevityReimagined.com. Oh, got it right here. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
All this stuff is made out of not old, but
Yeah.
used parachutes,
Used
canopies.
parachutes. A lot of them are
No
lined with
way.
like a hot air balloon. I've got like at the time when it was donated, it was like the size of a sedan in my garage, and I've slowly been like chipping away at it. So
You
yeah, the
got
joke is like other
hammocks,
people's
swings,
problem,
bags,
my
packs,
problem.
pouches. Dude, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this. This is very cool. All right, if you're listening, guys, please go check out her website, levityreimagined.com. This is really cool. Awesome.
And you
What
also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go, Chris.
do you have, like, out of all the products that you have, do you have one that you just really enjoy making that's just kind of fun, or that you're like extra proud of?
Trying to think. The fanny packs are just super fun to make. I feel like those are really popular with skydivers.
Yeah.
Lots of things for travel. Like it started out as just hammocks and swings, and started branching into other things. Dog scarves are a big hit, and those are like always adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What is the hammock chair? That's cool.
yeah.
You've got a lot of cool stuff. Oh, this is awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, your jerseys are really cool. Did you design those?
I was gonna say I designed them.
Nice. I like them. Very cool.
And
Okay, y'all go check out her website. That's very
yeah,
really cool.
Levity Reimagined. Let me put that in
Yeah.
the chat.
Yeah.
Um,
So what is something about Leah that most people don't know but you would like for people to know?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I like to think I'm an open book, but I don't know. I feel like I've become more jaded and reserved the older I get. Um, in skydiving, I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Or what's something that you, maybe something that you like, or something that's important to you that maybe people wouldn't necessarily know if they weren't really, like, what's something that you care about or you like or is important that that people might not know?
Yeah, I think people know that like I love design and I love sustainability and repurposing stuff. And I think people also know, but like I've tried to find more hobbies outside of skydiving
Mm,
in the past few years, and so I've gotten into like fitness and weightlifting and working on my like personal trainer certification. So like I think people close to me know that, but I've just taken an interest into that, and I think it's important.
mm.
Finding stuff outside of skydiving that's helps my well being, helps other people's well being.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
okay, my wife wanted to bring up something that you can deadlift your hurhusband. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, yeah, that was fun. There's a video of it. I mean, he's small, but yeah, Mel Firth and I, Melanie Firth, also we bonded over skydiving. We bonded over fitness. Yeah, we deadlifted our partners.
Which one? What's the deadlift? I can't. I can never keep track of what's all the different one, like
That's just like
deadlift, clean,
clean and jerk. Yeah, that one's just like lifting him off the ground.
deadlift
Hmm.
is.
Yeah,
Okay.
from the ground position.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not
We
sure I
actually
could
had.
deadlift stuff, and I think I'm
Yes, you
reasonable
could.
fit. Maybe I
I
don't
think
know.
Steph could
Yes, you
deadlift.
could.
Yeah.
We had
Okay.
we had Mel on the podcast a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. She
Hmm.
had messaged me and she was like, "What do I say?" And then like when you had asked me, I messaged her. I was like, "What do I say?"
Yeah, it's funny. People get scared about just coming on and chatting, and I mean, I've done it a bunch of times, I guess, so it doesn't bother me. But it's not like there's nobody in the audience right now. There's, we're just gonna chat for a little while, and then that's it. But it's a chance to talk about you,
Yeah,
and
it
it's
feels weird.
like yeah, yeah. But these are great moments because like I mean, 2,500 or whatever you said your jump numbers were. A lot of people know you in Eloy. People might not know you around the country or around the world as much, but you've got this super cool repurposing company, and you do graphic, and you do all this work, and it's just cool to like have. I don't know what the right word is. Normal is normal okay, or like just regular people from skydiving that do amazing things, and just have them on the show and chat for a while.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I always like view it as like a challenge to like be out of my comfort zone.
Mm.
And I think like because I knew like I'd have to I was reflecting back on my skydiving progression, like thinking of questions for the show and everything, and I was like, okay, I always wish I had more skydives. I always wish I was more accomplished, but like I think a few years ago I finally came to terms and peace with that. Like everyone's journey looks different, and like I've kind of forged my own path and found my own way with like still doing everything I went to in skydiving, but getting to be a creative in it, and like that's my role and that's my path, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. I started. Graphic design has been a part of my life for the past. Oh wow. Oh my
Careful.
goodness, like 16 years. Wow. Oh my goodness. Um, and I didn't intend to ever do graphic design. I think I mentioned to you earlier before we started recording, we were living in Thailand, and
Hmm.
we had a pizza restaurant, and we were part of a mission team, like a church mission team, and we were doing mission work, and we had a pizza restaurant as part of our ministry. It was kind of just a way for us to connect with the community, and so when we started the pizza restaurant, we needed like a logo, we needed menus, we needed like all sorts of stuff. And so we're all looking around like, okay, who's gonna do it? Nobody wanted to do it. I was like, okay, I'll try. And I look back now at the stuff I created back then. It's like embarrassing, but when I did it at the time, it was kind of fun. Like I had fun doing it. And a couple of people saw like some of the stuff that I had made and like, oh, that's really cool. Can you design a T-shirt for me? I'm like, sure, whatever. Like, okay. And then somebody else like, oh, can you make some stickers for me? I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then at one point, after I'd done like a few things, I'd been doing stuff for about a year. My cousin back in Texas for her business, she was like, hey, Chris, I heard that you're doing some graphic design. Can you help me with some stuff? I was like, yeah, sure. So she wanted me to like redesign her logo for her business. So it was the first time I'd like done something like kind of real, for someone
Yeah.
else. And so I made a brand new logo for, like, rebranded her business, and she paid me like $300. And I was like, this is awesome. I couldn't believe it. Like, part of it also is she's my cousin. She was just being nice to me. Like, she's, just being sweet. But yeah, it was, so graphic design, it's fun. It's challenging, but it's yeah, it's fun. What do you enjoy designing? What kind of things do you have fun doing? What's a project, like, if I was to bring you a graphic design project that would make you really excited, what would it be?
Hmm. I kind of, I mean, I love everything I do. It's cool, the rigs, the helmets. But I had like a fun client recently. Like they needed everything. Like he was launching his own kind of like brand team company, so it was everything from like the logo to the website to like social media graphics and now like a jersey. So it was kind of like everything from start to finish, and like because my degree is in industrial design, not graphic design, and
Mm,
a lot of that is like human factors and human experience and like how people interact with design itself. So it's like
mm,
I had all these touch points that I got to do, and like how are people gonna see him and this brand, and how are they going to interact with it. So kind of getting to do like multiple projects within one.
that's
That's
cool.
always
Can,
fun.
can
Yeah,
I
that's cool.
can I ask you guys? I have no graphic design experience. Like when you do something like that, Leah, do you do you sit and talk with the guy and like get a vision of the company and let, or the woman or whoever it was,
Mm.
like how do you, or does he just say go nuts and you do your own thing?
Yeah, I have like intake forms that I send out that have questions that like kind of get deep into it and have them
Mm,
respond. I'm not usually a phone call type of person, so like a lot of people will be like, "Can we have meetings and like discuss it?" And I'm like, or we could email, and like, well, it's useful for me because I can always refer back to it. And like I'm usually exchanging files like so many times with revisions and everything. So to have it all in one place, like that's really beneficial for me. But for that reason, yeah, I do have to get into the nitty gritty with design intake forms and questions, and I am willing to meet
mm,
with people and talk on the phone, obviously. But
yeah.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
I
Jairus, that's actually one of the I think one of the harder aspects of designing things for other people. Because, like, let's say you want me to design you a logo or something. The typical thing that I'm gonna hear somebody say is, "Oh, just make it look cool."
and that's the
Like,
hardest. That's
like
almost
I
yeah,
have no idea what cool means to you. I don't know what cool is for you. Or they say, "Oh, just make it pop." Like, that means nothing. That
yeah.
doesn't, and
Kind of
so,
in the dark and hoping something sticks, and then usually after the first round, they're like, "Okay, now I know what I actually don't want."
yeah, yeah. So yeah, the answer to your question is yes. Like, designers have to do that. We have to have those. It doesn't have to be a conversation in person, like Leah said. There's lots of different ways to do it. But, like, sometimes it's a matter of sitting down with a person. This is one of the things that we were just, me and my uh, friend, we were working together a lot. We were doing a lot of logos and a lot of rebranding. So one of the things we would tell people to do, I was like, I want you to get on Google, and I want you to Google, like, image search, find a bunch of brand logos. I want you to find me 10 logos that you hate.
Yep.
And I want you to find me 10 logos that you love. And then we're going to sit down together and we're going to go through them. And you're going to tell me what you love about the ones you love and what you hate about the ones that you hate. And then I begin to get a feel for what they like. But then the difficult part also is then I have to communicate to them and explain, okay, now I understand and I know what you like and what your preferences are, but I am not designing this logo. If it's your business or your brand, you got to realize I'm actually not designing it for you. I'm designing it for your customer. We want this visual representation of your business to attract people and to communicate something, to say something to the world about you. And visual, I mean, art, we know art does that. And so now I've got to convince them, now that we know what you like and don't like, I can work within those parameters, but you're actually not the final authority on what looks good. That's what you paid me for. That's why you're hiring me. It's for my expertise to tell you, yeah, I can make it in the style that you like, but I'm not going to move this line over here because you think it should be there. If that looks crappy, I'm going to tell you that looks crappy. Now, at the end, if you want me to do it, okay, maybe I will do it, but don't put my name on it
Uh,
because it looks stupid.
okay, so Leah, along those lines, do you guys have like, hey, I am an artist, and I just made you something that I believe in, and if you don't like it, that's okay. But I'm not changing around this cool thing that I did, this piece of art, because you like. Do you get to a point where you're like, no, 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 this is the thing I created?
Yeah, and I wish I was better about that. Like, there are definitely a couple projects that I've like sent off that like I say like they become so bastardized by the point like it gets to the end that like I'm not super stoked with it, but I'm still happy enough with the deliverable. Um, but like yeah, I feel like a lot of times like in the first round of concepts, like I'll present exactly what they asked for, and then what I think it should be, and then like something completely different to kind of just hone in like where they actually see. And I feel like most of the time they're like, okay, what I wanted actually wasn't what I wanted. Like,
Yeah.
and like you said, that's what they're paying us for. So
And do you get in the situation where you get to that point, like you deliver the thing, you think it's what they want, and they go, you know what, I don't like it, and I don't want to pay. Does that happen? Or like, do you always get paid at the end, or do you get paid as you go? Like, how do you sort of guarantee that you're going to get compensated for your work?
I
I should
mean,
take more deposits than I do, but
yeah. Well, that right there.
uh,
That's exactly. So what we would do is they would have to pay installments. Usually it was half a 50% deposit up front, and then another 25% at one point in the process, and then the final 25%. What we started doing, JRuss, because of those specific issues that you're bringing up, is we were like, for example, we're designing logos for for a person or business, and we would come up with multiple versions. Let's say we come up with three versions. Well, Brandon was my business partner at the time, and we would sit and we talk and be like, dude, this one right here is obviously the best one. And we know why. And we can communicate why it does all the things the goals and the things that we laid out at the beginning of the project with the client. It accomplishes all those things. And it's clearly the best one. But then we would have option two and option three, and we would go and we would present all three to the client, hoping that they would pick the one that we think is best. Sometimes they would, sometimes they wouldn't. But in the meeting, we're trying to convince them to pick this one because we think it's the best. So finally, one day, we're about to go present to this one client. And I was like, Brandon, wait a minute. Why are we showing them the other two? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, we both know this is the best one. It's clearly the best one. Why are we even giving them the choice of the other two? And he's like, I don't know. I guess we just, and I was like, dude, let's only give them this one and let's just see what happens. Like, let's just say this is it. And we did it. And they were thrilled with it. So from that point on, we would come up with multiple options. But when we went to present to the client, we would only show them one. And at the beginning, when we would talk with people, we would tell them that's our process. We're like, look, you're paying us for our expertise. We've worked really hard. We're going to bring you what we think is the best. We're not going to show you anything that we think is less than that. Now, when we bring it to you, if you really don't like it, we're going to talk about why you don't like it, what's wrong with it, what is it not doing, where is it falling short. But we just only started presenting people with one option, and it's clearly the best one, and it worked almost all the time.
I'll do that a lot with like apparel design, and usually it lands on the first one. Um, I do feel like on the ones where I don't take deposits, usually with like UPT rigs and some helmet designs and stuff, I'm like, if they completely ghost me, if they're that unhappy with it, it's rare. Like if that were to ever happen though, like I can almost always reuse that design and change elements and stuff and make it custom again for someone. So I'm usually not like out that time. But yeah, it's a game. It's managing. It's any kind of business.
Mm.
hmm. um, Chris and Leah, a little bit Leah. Chris, I'm either going to have to use this setup with these headphones and the mic more often, or I got to switch back to my Bluetooth mic because Bean is here and she wants so badly to jump up on me, but she's scared of the strange equipment. And so
Yeah.
she's just biting away at my notepad and like fluttering around the computer, but she won't actually get up on me, which is yeah. So I don't like it when she's scared. Well, we might have
Yeah.
to change. We might have to change this up. Um, okay, switching gears a little bit. Are you guys good on graphic design?
Oh, yeah. We can.
Yeah. Leah, you were on the Project 19. Is that right? I remember
Yep.
you were on the actual record.
Yep.
Yep. Are you gonna potentially do the women's setup record that's coming up?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm super
Yeah,
stoked about it. I mean, I gotta do all the tryouts and everything, but like I've kind of been
sure.
like the past like year, I've been like, is it gonna happen? Like, when's the next women's head up record? Like,
What
so
did you think? What did you think of the Project 19 record?
it was like everything I think they hoped it was. It was that and more. Like, I mean, going. I think I was on the 200 away attempts that summer before
Okay.
the P19, so that was 2022. And I
Mhm.
mean, that was a great experience because it was my first ever time doing something like that. But going to something where there was like those specific training camps and visualization meetings and breathing seminars, and just the way it was structured with the jumps and the we had like warm up angle jumps to work on breakoffs. We like trained in the tunnel with our pods and everything. Like, uh, yeah, it was kind of like everything they said, and I think they hoped like a woman's record would be, and yeah, it definitely set the tone, and I think that's why I'm excited to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Um, yeah, we just got Steph just got contacted about that a few weeks ago, and they said that Amy and Sarah are doing it, and they said they were trying to go to Dubai, but Dubai couldn't guarantee them the aircraft, so I think it's going to be in Elo.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to help out again. It was a
Yeah.
fun project. Cool to get all those dedicated women in the same place. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that that'll like roll over and translate obviously to the women's setup one. Like it brought a whole group of us up, I think, and like elevated us to that level of flying. And head up flying's fun. Like the head up world record year, like 2 years ago, like I went to some of the training camps and I couldn't commit to that. Like I was getting married that winter, so I was like, okay, that's a financial thing I can't commit to. But I mean, head down's fun, but head up is really fun.
Head up's hard. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
hard but silly.
yeah. Super fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, hopefully I told Sarah contacted us and I said hopefully I can run a bench or do video or something. I don't do professional video, so but you sorry I forgot that you do professional video, and you were the only female to be filming on the what was the drop the drop shit out of the plane project.
oh yeah, the jump boogie, that was
Yeah.
super fun. That was like one of those moments where I was like looking around. We were having the pre-briefing like meeting, and I'm like next to James Coonsey, Nate Roth, Mark Trunk, Christian Baum, David Cherry, Joe Jennings, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? But I was also just like, I'm also not gonna pass it up. Like, just like smile, nod, fake it. Like, but it was fun. And I was like super stoked about everything I captured. So.
What was your favorite thing to film?
So I was like, because I was probably the lesser experience of all those very accomplished videographers, I was going with the smaller items, like the BMX bikes, scooters. I did get to go on the barrel jumps, which were super fun. Um, Mallory rode them out like cowboy style. But the best one was it was just a BMX bike with pyro, but it was at sunrise. I think we were trying to
Mhm.
beat weather, so it was just like beautiful, like over Area 51, like epic shot, like dude pop the pyro like right away. But yeah, it was just one of those like life is cool moments. So
Yeah. We didn't go to that project, but I have. I mean, and I'm not on social media, so I haven't seen kind of all the cool stuff that came out of it. I heard Kunzi is putting together like a video, a summary video, kind of. Are you?
yeah, he's
Is
been
your stuff included?
yeah, it should be in there. He's been working on like a kind of monster edit, like ode to good stuff, like instead of just made for social media short attention span. Like I think he's working on something that'll something big. I'm excited to see
Awesome.
it.
Yeah. Oh, I should have said this at the beginning for anybody who didn't understand what I was talking about, but it was a Constantine. It was a Constantine's boogie, or there was somebody else kind of moving that as well.
I think
Curtis
he was like the main guy in his name is Dawson. Is that correct? Dalton. Dalton. I know Dalton.
Dalton Swan,
Yeah. Yeah.
tall guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Him and
Anyway, there
Constant.
I yeah they wanted to drop shit out of the airplane and film it, and so people could make up their own stuff and like huge tennis balls and bombs and bikes and cars and right.
Yeah, like a weighted teddy bear, golf carts, a Coca-Cola vending machine. Like,
Constantine loves to do that kind of stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
always
yeah,
doing like weird, crazy stuff.
yeah. Um, yeah, it looked super cool. I was I don't know what I was doing at the drop zone. I think I had to drop something off for somebody, and I pulled up to Curtis's, like where Curtis's dad used to live, and they were still fabricating stuff, and it was going to happen in the morning, and he was working on that big bomb, and yeah, it just this looked like it was going to be super fun.
We were
So
like
hope
almost running out of stuff to drop at one point. Like the first day was warm up, like bowling balls, fruits, small bikes, and then by the end it was the big items. And they're like, "Who? Like, how could we furnish this recliner chair like last minute? Like, because it needed to be weighted properly so it's safe. Like, it had to be on rollers to get out of the sky van. Had to. A lot of them, not a lot of them, a few of them had like cypresses. It was sponsored by Cypress. The event had them on and pilot or drogues and full reserve parachutes. So yeah, it
yeah,
was a highly coordinated, really epic event.
yeah. Um, I saw Sarah and Steve at work a couple days after it happened, and just how did it all go? And Sarah was like, "Well, it was great. Like we did a lot of fun stuff, but apparently we need to have like tiered pricing. Like, okay, if you pay the registration, this is this price, but it means you're going to build your own thing and you're going to stick around and clean up. And then the next level of pricing is uh, Curtis builds you something and you stick around and clean up, or you build your own thing but you can't clean up. And then the highest level cost is we build it and we clean up after, and you just jump it.
That's
Because
brilliant.
everybody just like threw their crap out of the plane, and then it was like 2 weeks of
And then
cleaning
bolted.
up. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and they were like geotagging because everyone's like, I hope this gets cleaned up like from the social media posts, and it was like they were
Yeah,
geotagging like everything. Like there was like a giant disco ball, and they picked up like every shard of glass from it, so like it all got
oh,
cleaned up.
nice. Yeah, we were out there
So,
for the big flag jump a couple of weeks later, and it looked pretty good. Yeah.
Leah, do you do any coaching?
I did. Yes, I something like I've gotten asked to like coach, and I'm always like I don't feel qualified enough, and like I load organize. I'm a free fly load organizer at the drop zone. I did like coaching at the school in Orange, Virginia, and like I said briefly, tandem instructing. But I could, but I just don't feel qualified enough.
But, I mean, it's like you're in an area with a lot of talented people, and I'm not
Yeah,
saying you're not talented. I don't know where the dividing line is on coaching and not coaching, honestly. But people have different things to offer. It's not like, but I could definitely see it being intimidating to like think, oh yeah, I'm gonna go coach in the tunnel and I'm gonna share time with Jason Peters. Like
yeah.
it's a
Well,
big ask.
because there are times even where like some of like I think even like Andy Locke or Brendan Haddon like have had like people and they're like, oh, like I'm out of town this day. I was thinking like you could coach them. Like, what do you think? And I'm like, maybe I just need to give it a try. But yeah, it's imposter syndrome, like living in a drop zone where like everyone has 10 to 20,000 jumps. Like when I say how many I
Yeah,
have, people are like, "Wow!" And I'm like, "No, I'm a baby. Like
yeah,
I'm a baby skydiver here."
yeah. That I do even like at the tunnel, just with regular customers. They're not skydivers, just customers. People always ask, "Oh, do you actually jump out of planes?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "How many jumps you have?" "Oh, I have like 1,700." And like, "Oh my goodness!" I'm like, "Hold on, I know somebody. One of my friends. I usually tell them about Pete Allen. I'm like, one of my friends has 40,000, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So mine is nothing. Don't even don't be impressed by me. I'm not anything.
I don't think that changes because people think my number's big, and I'm like, man, I hang out with Craig Girard sometimes or Mark Kirkby, and like I think Mark's got 12 or 14,000 more jumps than I have, and
But
Pete
still,
like.
J Russ, 26,000. Come on, you
Yeah, I'm not saying
you're
I'm a baby in the sport. I'm just saying like it's relative, and there's still people out there with some big
yeah.
numbers. I actually heard the discussion about the most jumps that anyone has ever like diligently recorded was at around 46,000.
I think that's what I heard.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I bet Pete gets there. And there was a Russian guy in Dubai when we were. Uh, I moved there with about 5,000 jumps and maybe six, and he had 30 at that time, and I have about 20,000 more than that now, and he's jumping full time.
He's
Uh,
still, he's still jumping a bunch.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I
Wow.
mean, we called him KGB because he used to work for the KGB, but he would never say like he. I mean, we got it out of him one time what he thought he had, but he wouldn't talk about it. He's like, yeah, I just gotta. Like he was so stoic about it. Just yeah, but
Hmm.
I bet he's got more than Pete. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
It's
That's
weird
cool.
how the goalposts like always shifts because I remember when I'm like, when I learned how to fly head down, like then I'm a cool kid, and then it's like, no, like once I'm a load organizer and getting paid to do this, then I'm a cool kid. I'm like, no, and I'm like world record, like, oh,
she did it. She's so brave, aren't you, kiddo?
what's her name?
Bean.
Bean.
Yeah, she's so Chris, we thought, and Leah, you can obviously hear this too, but you never heard it before, that she was a finch, that she was a house finch. But I took a new picture of her, and she's got a little mohawk when she gets excited.
Hmm.
She like puffs up those feathers, and she's actually a chipping sparrow. I listened to house finch music, and it wasn't right, or house finch sounds.
Hmm.
So she's a chipping sparrow. She likes my soda water. That's probably why she jumped up here. Um, she likes to drink my soda water. Yeah. She's the cutest little thing. But she's still way smaller than like a regular bird. I She was in the grass, Leah, outside our trailer at Skydiving Chicago. I almost stepped on her walking our dog, and she was not going to make it. She was like about the size of that knuckle of my thumb when I found her, um, and yeah, she was going to die. So anyway, she's my bird now. She's the cutest.
I was gonna say that's not a normal pet to have. How did you find her? But
Yeah, well, I regularly rescue birds at Skydive Chicago. Like they've tried to stop them from nesting up in the hangar, kind of up in the corners of the big hangar, and it
mhm.
just doesn't work. And then some fall out. Normally, I'm on cleanup duty because Steph doesn't want to do it. But then 2 years ago, one fell out. Its parents were trying to help it. It was a house sparrow, but it had broken wing and broken leg. And again, she wasn't going to make it through the night. So I picked her up and I took her home. And it took about 3 weeks to get her leg healed and her wing healed. And then we took her back to the hangar and tried to let her go. And she flew in a little circle and came back and landed on me. Um, and she didn't want to go. So she was with us. She sadly passed away way earlier than I thought. But in that experience, I learned they're fucking amazing. Like birds are super cool. And if you would have, I know I've said this on the cast before, but a few years ago, if you'd have said, JRuss, do you want a pet bird? And I'm like, come on, man. No. But I freaking love it. And they're so smart and like, they're actually kind of playful. This one is even more curious than my previous bird was. Like she notices everything and she's curious about everything. It's super cool. And I've
Is
got
she
bird
your
shit
only bird
everywhere.
right now?
Huh?
Your bird. Is she your
I'm
only
sorry.
bird right now, or do you have two?
No, I just this one. Um,
Oh, okay.
Yep, I had one before that passed, and then I was super
And
sad about it, and
yeah.
I wasn't I wasn't necessarily trying to have another pet bird, but then it happened, and I was pretty happy.
Tell Leah the name of the other one.
The first one was Chicken Hawk, because she was also small for a sparrow, but she thought she was so tough, and she would like our dog would be having food and she would get up and like lower her head and spread her wings out real big and hop around and like she was trying to pick a fight with our dog and our dog's just like whatever, I'm having a snack, and you could be a snack if I so choose. But yeah, we called her
I feel
And
like I remember seeing
Chicken.
social posts of Chicken Hawk.
yeah,
Yeah, Steph
yeah.
made an Instagram page for her.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Leah, Chicken Hawk was not camera shy. Like
Mm,
Bean doesn't like being on the camera. Like that, I
mm,
think that might be the first time I've ever seen Bean like
yeah,
actually sit still on camera. But
maybe.
she would just like chill on J Russ's shoulder during the podcast. She would jump up on his glasses on the frame and just hang out, like just stand there and just chill, just hanging out. Um,
And
and then
Bean does the same. Like she's on my glasses all the time, but I think not with these.
yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
and yeah, so Chicken Hawk, like the people who were watching the podcast on a regular basis, they all knew Chicken Hawk because she was always here with us. She was cool.
They tune
Yeah.
in for Chicken Hawk.
Yeah, probably so. More interesting than us.
So you guys want to hear something trippy? Uh, Birds, and this is like we had a barbecue, and we went and got some steaks from the butcher shop, and we're sitting outside, kind of chatting, and we were talking about kind of hunting and how we source our food and sort of that whole system. And what a couple of the guys that are there are hunters, and they were talking about sort of the experience. And I said I went through kind of an existential crisis on like eating chicken because that bird was so smart. And then if that's what I'm eating, like, should I be doing that? Like the, and I know for a fact cows are really stupid. However, I'm not sure that means we should eat them. But I really like having meat, and I've tried to be a vegetarian, and I couldn't do it. Like I was not getting enough of what I needed. So we talked about, could you grow food in a lab, and that conversation went, could you grow meat in a lab, which I think is happening, and would you eat it? So first of all, would you eat it? Leah, are you vegetarian?
No,
Okay.
I've tried
Would you
it, but
guys?
yeah,
Yeah,
I like meat too much.
yeah.
I like you,
But
Leah.
if your meat came in a brick of meat that was grown in a lab and it was healthy and there wasn't crappy stuff in it and it tasted good, would that be okay?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I think
I
I'd
mean, if
want to
it's
be against it because like the sci-fi modification of food and bioengineering and where it's going. But yeah, if it addresses the topic of solving that animals and carbon emissions and it's nutrient dense and it feeds the world, and yeah, I can get on board. I'd be weirded out, but
Yeah,
I'd get on board.
yeah.
yeah.
I
I
just
mean, if
I
it
said I would
if
try
it
it.
tastes if it tastes good and it's healthy, yeah, sure. But I mean, I love steak.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
tried. I even tried like doing the not like full vegan, but I tried like for 30 days because I had heard people saying like, "Oh, it's so good for you, feel so good," and all this. And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna try it. I want to know for myself, like, will I actually feel better?" So I went for 30 days, almost vegan, not fully, and I couldn't tell a difference at all, not at all. So I was like, "I'm not doing that. That's not worth it for me." And I
So
love.
Leah just said something that I don't know that people know for sure, and that's nutrient density. And red meat is about as nutrient dense as you can get um, in the food that you take in. Okay, so sorry, I want to back up to animal intelligence because that was part of that conversation, but this is the trippy part. Do you guys know what an African gray parrot is?
Mm-mm.
It's you if you want an interesting couple minutes, just look up some videos on YouTube of an African gray parrot. And there's a very famous one that was being tested in the 80s. They can talk. They talk in sentences.
Yes,
They
I know. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
they will talk about some really abstract concepts like their past, their future, what they might do in the future, like things we don't normally ascribe to animals. And there was recently reported that an African gray parrot got sick, and its owner reported that it got cancer. The cancer was intractable, and the bird was feeling bad, and said to the owner, "What's happening to me?" And the owner said, "You're sick. I can't fix what's going to happen, and probably you're going to die." And this is so trippy. The bird said, "Where will I go?"
is this true?
That's what I read.
Really? That's crazy.
I feel like I'm having an
Yeah,
existential crisis
Yeah,
now.
right.
right.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, oh, where am I?
Yeah, I mean,
Where do
uh,
we go?
yeah. Where do any of us go? But isn't that a trippy question from an animal?
That's yeah, super trippy.
Yeah. Uh, if you want a
I
few
don't know.
minutes of fun,
Yeah,
look up.
now I'm like, now I don't know if I can eat chicken tonight.
Yeah, yeah. Seriously, if that. But just and Leah, I've told this story a couple times. Sorry to all the listeners if they hear this twice, but there was one time I was gaming and Chicken Hawk was annoyed with me, or that's my perception, that I wasn't paying her enough attention. And she was feeding herself out of the bowl. Like I've got bowls up here for Bean, and she goes and gets worms and seeds and whatever she wants, lettuce. Uh, but instead, Chicken Hawk grabbed the bowl and dragged it on top of my laptop, so I would pay attention to her. And like the depth of what that action represents is pretty crazy,
Yeah.
in my mind, for a quarter ounce sparrow to like,
Hmm.
no, 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 you're going to pay attention to me right now. Like there's a whole bunch of interactions there
You
that
might
are
have sold
nuts.
me on birds. Not that I had like
Yeah.
I was anti-bird, but
Well,
definitely
the,
interested in birds now.
the my experience with people having birds though is that they've got a, like, the round top cage, and the bird sits in there and it makes noise and it hops around. Sometimes you got to clip its wings so it doesn't beat itself up on the cage. But that's not what Bean is doing. It's not what CH does. Like our living space is her living space, and she goes to sleep right here on the fridge. We've got this little stupid rough greens clippy thing. This That's her bed at night because she chose that. She just
Wait,
hops up and she sits inside that. See all that poop in there?
that's
That's
where she sleeps?
She just hops up in there. When I turn the lights down at night, she hops up in there. She tucks herself into that little space, and I
And
turn the
that's what
lights
she
out.
likes.
That's
It's
what she
probably like a
wants.
nest you would have built.
That's
Yeah.
With a little
crazy.
And I put a little night light over on the plug here, so that when all the lights are out, if she decides she needs to move around a little bit, she can see the computer space and like fly around a little. But I don't think, like, if we have to travel with her, I've got a little, it's a tiny dog carrier, but for like a chihuahua or something. She hates it. She does not want to be in there, and as soon as I put her in there, she's trying to get my attention to take her out the entire time. And it's a necessary evil, but just knowing she does not want to be in a cage.
Mm.
It's You can see it clear as day. And I think those are the moments where I'm like, should we have factory farming? Like, if we acknowledge we're going to eat some of those critters, can't they have a decent life for, before the point where they're harvested? Not in a cage. And
Mm.
again, like, I don't think that she necessarily represents the height of animal intelligence. It's
Hmm.
but but because of that, I think the other ones probably like being in a cage even less. Um,
Yeah. I
yeah,
think we could do better about ethical
yeah,
farming and
yeah,
ethical
yeah,
consumption of everything.
yeah. Or maybe we can grow it in a lab. I mean, what a world that would be, though, don't you think? Like, if we just culture cells, and it's the things that we need, the nutrients that we need, and then animals can just go back to being animals in the world. We don't have to have.
Yeah, I wonder what we would lose, you know? Like,
Yeah, I feel like you'd have to get like the whole like just farming industry on board. Like with anything, when you threaten one livelihood, they're gonna
well,
fight it. But
Yeah,
but for
even just
other things,
that, like that aspect of life. Like I don't know, for some reason I think there must be, I think there's some value in us being connected to, I'm going to say creation. I mean, JRuss, you know my belief system. I'm going to say creation, connected to creation in that way. That, like, yeah, I don't know. I wonder. I wonder what we would lose by not being connected to the animal kingdom in that way, and
well,
but I
and
feel like
being a
it's also
part of that cycle of life and death, and that they provide life for us, and that them giving of their life, I mean, not giving, you know what I'm saying, they're not choosing to give, but they're also, I mean, we're they're also not of the same cognitive level that we are. Like, they don't have hopes and dreams and wishes and
Leah, you go first.
no. I was just like I feel like that's always been a thing of like we've always existed hunting, gathering, and like living off of animals and everything. And it's so nuanced. Like I do see that argument, but also to say that like that's the same level of like sure, if you hunt and gather, that's I think that's where we should be, and that addresses some of the ethical stuff. But like we're so far from that with industrial farming and
mm,
yeah, like what it's become, that like, is it, do we just evolve? Do it like, have we evolved from, basic hunting and gathering to this industrial farming to now lab grown meat? Like,
Mm.
I don't know where the answer is. Like, I do think there is something to it, like the harmony of nature and how we've always existed. But I think we've also strayed past that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Mm.
So, Chris, my follow up, there's a joke that I could tell you guys that would illustrate the thought experiment really well. Let me start with that. A, a man and a woman are asleep, and a guy breaks in, ties them both up. And I swear this is funny. Ties them both up and leans over and whispers something in the woman's ear, and then goes in the bathroom. And the guy says, "Honey, I'm really sorry this is happening, but just, whatever the guy wants, just cooperate with him, and I promise I love you, and we're going to get through this." And the woman says, "That's really nice to hear, and I want you to know that I feel the same, because he just told me he got out of prison a couple days ago, and he hasn't seen anybody as cute as you for a little while." Uh, and on the heels of that, if an alien race landed and considered us food, is that okay with you, Chris? Because now we are part of their life cycle?
No, but you're doing an equivocation there that I don't agree with.
Which is what?
I think that's a logical fallacy. That equivocation that our intelligence, you're equating that with the intelligence of animals, and I from on a like a fundamental level don't believe that those are the same.
Well,
So so I don't think that metaphor, that analogy, or that situation, I don't think that's the same thing, as because that would be just saying like if you go to another country and find and want to take over people and eat them, you can't eat people because they're people. But I think you can eat animals because they're animals.
but,
I'm sa-
okay.
but that's
I
also
mean,
that's part of my belief system and what I think, how I think everything is created and the way it exists and what we are. So you know what I'm saying?
I do, but I think where I disagree slightly is that we are still animals. We are a different kind of animal than the others that exist on the planet, and especially when you start really digging into the intellectual levels of animals, similar to the bird story, but like there are chimps out there that are entering their own stone age. Like we're we're we are we have separated ourselves from the animal kingdom by and large, but we're not separate, and because
Well, that's where I would argue. I would argue that we are separate, and I think the where I would argue are the transcendentals, the three transcendentals:
go ahead.
truth, goodness, and beauty.
Mhm.
Animals, yes, we are animals. Humans are animals. But for a moment, can I say humans and animals? And can we make that distinction just for a minute? Use those words like that. Animals, they don't have those three transcendentals: truth, goodness, and beauty.
Okay, but that's not, that least truth is not true, because
Well, give me an example.
if you do chimp research, chimps understand deception and they understand fairness, and there's definitely good research into those two things. They have good concepts of both of those things in their own societies, and if you deceive them, they will express frustration with you. And if they will be fair to other chimps given the opportunity, as far as like food rewards, and no, I already had one, he needs to have one. And so I just, all I'm saying is those boundaries get really slippery really fast when you start digging into what else is out there.
I mean, I don't know the studies that you're talking about with chimps about
Mhm.
deception, but I I don't know, so I can't say yes or no. But I can also like a dog. You've seen those videos where people like have the blanket. They're standing in the doorway with the blanket, and they hold the blanket up, and then they let go of the blanket. They disappear around the corner, and the dog's like confused, right?
Mhm.
Well, that's not deception. That's not lying. That's just tricking their perception of what they see or don't see. So, my argument, without knowing any details about those chimpanzee or those ape studies, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
It's it seems to me that it's possible that it's not deception and truth versus lie, but that they're being you could make any animal angry by taking away something they want. That's not deception. So
No,
I'm very interested to see those
yeah,
studies that you're talking about and understand how did they quantify or delineate between deception versus just taking something away from an animal that they want and now they don't get it. That's
truth,
not deception.
beauty. What was the third one? Truth and beauty.
Truth, goodness, and beauty.
Goodness. Leah, do you have an opinion here?
I'm trying to think of like again so nuanced, and I think I'm in the middle, and maybe I just don't have a good enough understanding. I was trying to think of the woman's name. It'll come to me. I can't remember if it's Temple Grandin or not. She's like the huge, like she loves cows, and she's like a huge activist, but also like fights for the beef industry, and again like ethical farming. I think she's kind of controversial for whatever. I don't remember, but yeah, I don't know because I agree with J Russ, but also I like eating chicken and burgers. So like,
That's
I'm
good.
checking
That's
my own
very good.
biases here of like,
That's very good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah.
And Leah, see, I told you we talk about all sorts of stuff. We don't know what we're going to talk about when we get
Uh,
started. Like, who
Oh
knows
no,
where this
I
is going?
appreciate it. I'm like looking back and forth, and I'm just like, now I have stuff to ponder.
Yeah.
uh, uh,
Sometimes Jairus and I agree, and sometimes we're like, nope, you're wrong, man. You're wrong. And
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, does this happen where you guys actually disagree on things? But
sometimes,
oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of agreement, but man, doesn't isn't the I mean, civil discourse in the boundaries of civil discourse, having disagreements is fine. And
It's way more fun.
yeah, like it's such a challenge to for you to say that. Okay, you said these are the things that I think are that separate us from the animal kingdom, and I don't agree with at least the one, but I'm gonna go do some research and look
Yeah.
it up, and I'm gonna find the study that I read about chimps understanding that kind of stuff. And it wasn't just they took away the food and they were upset. It
Yeah.
was like it was a sharing concept, and there was a deception in there that they understood they had been deceived, and they were upset about that. And
Mm.
like I need to go back, but it's been 20 years since I read that, and I don't have it. But yeah, that's the best part about having conversations with people. It's
yeah, I
not hey,
appreciate the critical thinking. I think
yeah,
that's lacking these days.
Yeah, I mean,
oh
for
man,
real.
I
No, ser
appreciate
that
it.
like, well, and just people having the freedom to honestly say, I don't agree, and here's why, and that the other person listens. Like J-Russ sat and listened to what I had to say, and so often, so many people don't want to listen to one another because, like, nope,
mm,
you're wrong. I don't care what you say. It's going to be stupid. No, maybe it's not. Like, maybe they're going to teach you something. Let them. Let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
I like JRuss was. I'm open to researching that and
Yeah.
for forming my opinion based on my new research.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong about all of it. I mean, we could, but I do remember reading that, so I'm going to go look. But Sam Harris said something years ago in one of his debates. It was like, if you've got the knockdown argument for what I'm about to say, please raise your hand and say it, because I don't want to be wrong any longer than I have to be. If I'm saying the wrong things or believing the wrong things, I want to get those sorted out. And sometimes it's not necessarily right or wrong, but I somebody much younger than me. Oh, I had dinner with some friends. Uh, my one of my best friends, her daughter, and then her daughter's friend, and the girls are like 16 and 18, and uh, like there was a bunch of parts of the conversation that were super interesting to have with them, um, but just the, they said at one point you shouldn't talk with your friends about religion or politics or money, and I was like, guys, I don't know that that's true. Like, I think you should talk about all of those things in a civil way and learn to have a rational conversation with your friends and not get upset because somebody's opinion is different than yours. Like, and it was interesting. Like the 16-year-old said that, and I was like, man, I think those are some of the best topics to have talks
Yeah.
about. Like, as long as nobody gets their panties in a twist, and we can all just have a conversation.
Yeah. And I mean, like, what are the chances that I have like if you could draw a circle and say everything that I believe and understand is inside this circle, what are the chances that every single thing inside that circle is 100% accurate? I mean, there's no way that's possible, right? Like, there's no way. So if I'm unwilling to have these arguments and discussions, then that means I'm unwilling to receive truth. Like there's certain truth that I'm not getting. I'm believing things that are untrue. So there has to be some truth in J Russ's circle that's not in my circle. There has to be, right? Like I just don't see how there's any other way. So why would I not want to hear everything he has to say in hopes that some of those things that he's saying are true and are going to help my circle of knowledge and beliefs be more true and more accurate? Like, that's a really good thing, I would think.
Leah, are you? This is, I swear this will make sense. Are you a religious person, non-religious? How do you classify yourself?
Wait, we can't hear you.
Oh, I can't hear you anymore.
Hold on. What happened?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I was like connecting to my phone. I was born and raised in a like reform conservative Jewish community. So like I was
Okay.
born and raised with religion. And because of that, like that is so there's such a big part of that that's cultural. And I think those are the pieces that I took from it. And I would say these days I am not religious by any means, but I am more spiritual and I've gotten more woo woo and witchy, I would say, in the past few years. So
Witchy.
yeah, I
Okay.
would say, yeah, I'm open. I'm open minded, but I don't practice any of the true religions. So that.
The reason for the question was, and you guys can both comment on this, but and I also grew up with a religious like push that didn't really take hold. Um, However, one of my I just had this talk about the difference in sort of the fundamental basis of spirituality, or not spirituality, religion, especially the kind of the big religions, and scientific approach is that, in my opinion, scientific approach constantly looks to revise itself. It looks to be self-correcting for mistakes. It looks to push into new areas and expand the boundaries of what we know. And for the minds of many people, and Chris, I don't think this about you, so don't take it this way, because I really genuinely don't. And what you just said proves that this is not the case. But for many people, revealed truths mean I don't need to know more than this. I
Mm,
don't need to study more than this. I don't need to
mm,
listen to somebody else's opinion more than this, because I know these words to be true, and that is all that I need to know. And
mm.
that part I disagree with.
Yeah.
And and but again, those conversations, if you can have them, but I think a lot of times they end with, I don't care what you have to say, and this is
Mm,
what I know. But if you can have those, then hopefully there's some sort of cross pollination on ideas. And I look forward to those. Not I definitely don't try not to have them with people that I know,
mm.
if religious or non-religious. I mean, non-religious people probably agree with me too much, so I want to have it with religious people.
I
Well,
like that. I believe in like well for me personally because it's my existence and my consciousness. Like I'm gonna pick and choose the pieces of religion that I like and dislike. And like one part that I always even younger was it like that I pulled from Judaism was like you're always supposed to debate and question like questioning the existence of God and questioning like different ideologies. Like that's like part of it is like you're supposed to engage in discussion and debate. Um, and so yeah, I agree with everything you said there.
mm. When I try to have that same attitude, J. Russ, what you said, even about God. Like, there's no way that everything I think about God, there's no way that I have a full, accurate picture of God. That's just not
Mm-hmm.
possible, right? And so there's got to be some things that I believe about religion or about Christianity or about God that are just off, or maybe just flat out untrue. And so why would I not want to try to listen to other people, whether it's other Christian denominations or even other religions? Surely there's some truth in Buddhism about the way things are. Why would I not want to know that? Does that mean I have to agree with everything in Buddhism? No, it doesn't. But could I at least take the time to listen and see if there's something that they can teach me? Yeah, I think I should. Um, and then a side note, like this is more of, yeah. So a side note, tangent. I if if God, if the God that I believe in is real, and the God I believe in is the most beautiful, wonderful, loving, like forget anything bad that you've ever experienced or heard about religion. Set religion and Christianity, set religion aside. Think about a being that is the most beautiful, wonderful, loving, fantastic. Like, picture a being in your mind that is truly, truly, truly wonderful, the most wonderful being that you can imagine. That's the God I believe in. If he really exists, then I want to know him. And I want everybody else to know him. And I I think part of what I should do is that if 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 I've met him, if I've actually met that being, and now I am 100% convinced that he really is real, that most wonderful being is real because I've met him, I should tell people about that. So my words to both of you right now is that I have actually met him. I have actually met him. And I promise you he's real. Not religion, not Christianity, not whatever all these people argue about, but the most wonderful, beautiful being that you can imagine. I've met him and he's real.
So, Leah, do you have thoughts?
JRuss is used to me being weird like this.
No, it got deep, and I was just like, wow, like I would like to meet that person too. But then I almost cracked a joke, like
Go for
he's a
it.
dude. He's a dude.
He's a dude.
The Almighty, this great being. It's a dude.
God, I'm so
No,
glad you
okay.
said
That actually no. He is a no, all both genders exist, and we men and women both came from.
He.
I just don't have another word. I don't know what else to
Okay,
say
yeah.
besides he.
No, that's
But
fine.
yeah, because even in the Bible, God calls himself a mother hen,
Yeah.
and he gathers his chicks under she gathers her chicks under her wings. So yeah, sorry, I that's the only word I
No,
had.
you're good. I'm just in my like down with the patriarchy era. So, but if it's a dude, like I'm open to, I'm willing to meet him.
That's
Well,
good.
yes, thank you for saying that part. And I think, Chris, you started that off with clearly, I don't have a full and complete picture of God. I
Yeah.
think if anybody has a full and complete picture of God, then that they are God, because nobody else can have it, right? Like that,
There you go.
just axiomatically, you
Yeah.
don't have a full and complete picture.
Yeah.
But even that statement is outside of the boundaries of what people are normally willing to acknowledge when they are religious. It's like, no, I know God. I got the whole gist, as if that was even possible.
Yeah.
But ironically, if an alien landed, outside the door and said, "Hey, man, I want to have a chat with you, and here's what's going on in the universe, and we need you guys to back off the nukes and maybe stop eating cows or whatever," but then I would want to tell everybody,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so, or conversely, if I had met an entity that I perceived to be God, I would also probably tell people about that.
Yeah.
And I look forward to my first journey to Peru and then ayahuasca, and I'm going to come back from that and tell you whether I met God.
Okay.
And someday
Maybe
that's
I
going
want
to
to go
happen.
with you.
Yeah, fuck, man, let's go together. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to see me a puddle of tears on one side of the yurt or whatever we're existing in while I sort out all the demons from my life. But
Yeah. Man, you and me both.
it'll be okay.
Not to
Huh?
get all spiritual or metaphysical, but could not this idea of God or whatever existence, could that not be different for everybody? Like not like everyone has their own different opinions, but maybe that appears differently for everybody. Maybe yeah, yours comes in the form of an ayahuasca trip in Peru, and maybe yours comes through your religion now. Maybe
Yes,
it
it
seems same
could.
but different.
Yeah. I mean,
What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand your question.
Maybe it appears differently to everybody, even if it is the same higher power of whatever. Like yours
Hmm.
comes in the religion you practice right now, maybe you'll find yours improve. Like when people say like I found God like doing this or something.
Hmm.
Maybe more of like a concept rather than a being. I don't know.
Hmm. Would there would there be some would there be some commonality between all those? Would there be some foundational truth that's present in all of those different experiences?
I would like to think so. I guess that's my
Yeah.
own personal belief that yeah, like when do you feel the closest to your version of God?
Mm. Hmm. Okay, that's a good question. You really want me to answer honestly, like for real?
Yeah, and then I'll give you my answer to when I feel the closest to something bigger than myself.
Okay.
I guess that's what I'm looking for, yeah.
So there's different times. Um, okay, I'm just gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes when I'm okay, if you're uncomfortable, you're uncomfortable. Sometimes when I'm not necessarily making love to my wife, but when I have the physical closeness to my wife, and we are both. There's sometimes when it's almost like I can feel her love like going inside of me, and I can feel my love going inside of her, and there's like this, but it's different. I don't know why. It doesn't happen all the time. It happens every once in a while, and it it feels like God is present in a different. It just feels different, and I somehow feel seems like I feel God's presence, and then also that's one time, and it's happened multiple times, but then also sometimes when I'm just um, sometimes out in nature, and then
So that was,
sometimes music.
yep.
There is a way that music, for whatever reason, will just I feel like it's just almost pulling me
Yeah,
into
like
his
a little
presence.
warm. Yeah, I was
Yep.
gonna say like sometimes like being on it doesn't have to be like the most beautiful trail I've ever been on, but like
No,
on
no, no.
scenic view or a mountain or trail or even a car ride with music with a beautiful view where
Yep.
there it feels something like greater than your
Yeah.
little existence and consciousness
Yeah.
like in that moment like a
Yeah.
greater. I guess that's what I was looking for. So yeah.
And so I think like your question, could it be? I'm paraphrasing what I think you said. Could it be different for everybody? I think first of all, it has to be different for everybody because we're all different. So there's no way that it could be the same. Even if I held up a diamond in front of you, your experience of the diamond is different than mine. For one, you're just looking at the other side, so it's automatically different, right? So I think yes, our experience of God has to be different, but there also has to be. I'm telling you my beliefs. Like if God is God, if God doesn't change, if God is the most substantial, the most dependable, the most foundational thing, if everything in the universe came from Him, then that means He is unchanging. And so there has to be also, even though our experiences can be different of Him because we're at different places or we're coming from different angles or different perspectives or whatever, different cultures, different mindsets, beliefs, whatever, there also has to be a certain amount of commonality within all of those experiences because He is unchanging. So even though the experience may feel different and look different for different people from different perspectives, there is a a foundational commonality because He is the same. He is unchanging. So that would be my response, I think.
I can dig it.
Wonderful in its brevity. Okay, well, Chris, if we're going to come back to
Skydiving.
truth, beauty, and goodness, we
Oh,
are going to come back to skydiving, but we're running long, so we're gonna touch on skydiving for a second. But your end of that bargain, I'm going to look up the chimps that 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 understands some of those things. And what I would like you to do is come back next week and tell me what constitutes intelligence.
Oh, oh my goodness. Okay. I think your
And it
homework's
doesn't.
easier than mine. You have to look up a
Mine
study. I have to
definitely
figure
is.
out some philosophical question.
Yeah, because it,
Okay,
it
wait,
makes
wait,
you
wait,
dig
wait.
in. You have to dig into what actually makes anything smart.
Holy cow. What is the question?
What
What
constitutes how do you define intelligence? You can, and Leah, if you come up
constitutes?
with a knockdown answer for this, fucking let me have it. I've been asking people this question
No,
for
let
30
me have
years.
it. Don't tell him, tell
Yeah.
me.
Think about it. But I feel like I
Yeah.
also need to brief Cherry for what he's coming into next week.
We
Like,
may
No,
not.
don't do that. No, don't do that.
Hey,
Let him
we
come.
may.
Let him come in. It's got to be organic. Just let him do his thing.
Next week, we might talk about Gatorade and barbecue. Who knows? We don't
Yeah.
know.
yeah,
I don't know.
I
Okay,
feel like
so guys, what happened in the skydiving world in the last couple of weeks? I feel like something happened that I meant to talk about on the show, um, and then I'm misplacing it right now. Normally, Leah, we like if there's things that happened, especially minor or major incidences, we'll talk about those and try to just touch on how things could have maybe gone differently if they were bad. And go ahead, Chris.
Well, sorry, this is not. This is kind of answering your question, but I got an email from. Remember, we talked about the guy who got his canopy hung on the tail of the plane
Hmm.
and was like had the hook knife and all that stuff.
Hmm.
He listened to that episode and he
Okay.
emailed me and was like, "Hey, I heard you guys talking about this," and he wanted. There was a couple of things I think that we. I don't know if it was things that we said or just what we thought had happened that were not quite accurate. And so I don't know if he would be willing to be on the podcast, but I wanted to ask him to come on so he could talk to us about it and tell us exactly what happened and what he learned, or like, I mean, whatever we can learn from it and share. And so, sorry, that's not answer to your question, but that's something that we can maybe try to do.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, man, I'm just misplacing it right now. I needed to write it down.
trying to think. The only things I've seen have been like the change to the like swooping rules and
Did that
just like
happen?
I think it's like on the table. And
Yeah.
the actual competitors are kind of trying to fight it.
Yeah. I saw
Um,
Kurt Bartholomew posted something about it, but I didn't understand what it was. Do you understand it, Leah? Do you know what it is?
it was something I think coming from USPA to the who governs above the International World for Swoopers or
ISP.
whatever it is.
It,
ISP,
it
yeah,
yeah,
for
at
safety
the FAI
regulation.
level. Yeah. So
They,
as I
they,
understood it, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, you go.
Well, as I understood it, it almost entirely came from Albert Berchtold, the USPA president, I think is his title, who did swoop compete for years, but it's not as I understand it current, and the changes are not very popular with competitors worldwide, but it is still being put forward. Um, and I hope that they're soliciting input from people who are competing right now, because when I saw Kurt and Jeannie at the invasion over the New Year, and neither one of them were very stoked about the changes,
Hmm.
to put it very mildly. Um, uh, yeah. And since we're mentioning USPA, I still have not received an answer on the car chargers.
Chargers. Mm-hmm.
And it's been about
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 weeks since I sent that email.
Tell Leah. Let's get her reaction.
Yeah, I don't know if
Uh,
I've caught this episode.
well, I'm actually hoping people, like, I'm going to reach out to some of the national directors and try and just kind of poke around and see if I can get a more concrete answer. But basically, the USPA has installed EV charging stations at USPA headquarters, um, and that seems outside of the mandate of USPA generally. When I asked Albert about it, he said it was definitely outside their mandate, but he hoped that it was going to be another revenue stream for USPA. And I said, cool, can you just confirm that 100% of the funds will be paid back to the USPA competition fund, which I believe is where they came from, as well as
Oh,
confirming that all people who use those EV stations are going to pay full price, and that USPA members are not basically paying for
Subsidizing.
free. free gas in the form of electricity for the people who work at USPA, and that has not received a response.
Hmm.
So it could still be okay. I just haven't gotten a response. But I'm going to keep poking around about it.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah. Dave,
JRuss doing some investigative reporting.
Yeah.
man, not really what I want to be doing. Uh,
USPA gate.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, believe it or not, I got better things to do with my time, even if it's just feeding worms to my bird.
That's
Yeah,
good. All right. Well, anything else on your mind, J. Russ?
man, I got to do a better job of writing things down. If only I
Okay.
was as organized as my wife.
Yeah. Well,
This has
okay.
come full
Yeah.
circle.
Leah, is there anything else that is on your mind, or anything else about Leah that we would like to know, that you think that you want us to know? Anything we missed?
Mm, no, I mean we covered a lot of random topics. Like I've been on like other skydiving podcasts and stuff, and I feel like sometimes I can come off as like jaded and stuff. And so like I guess I just want people to know like I this sport is incredible, and I do love this sport. And I'm excited for all the things coming up and new disciplines and all that.
Yeah, it's super fun. Okay, one more question, and then we're gonna wrap it up. What is a discipline or something in skydiving that you have not yet gotten to do as much as you would like to, or not gotten to do that you would be excited to get into?
Yeah, I've started to dabble with like high performance flocking. I went to my first flocking camp in October.
Mm,
And I've done some other ones, just like jumps here in Eloy, and that was some of the most fun I've had in skydiving in years. So like I would
yeah,
love to get into more of that. Like that was super fun.
cool. That camp that you went to, who was that put on by?
It was Chicks Flock, put on by Flight One, Kaz Shiki, and Kara King. So it was an women's like high performance canopy flocking camp.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
that's cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
Super
And
neat.
is
I don't have
that
to lift lots of
are
weight.
is that a camp that they something that they do on a regular basis? Do you know? Is that something that other people can still join? Do they do that?
Yeah, that was their first one. I don't know if it was like a test camp or not, but I know they plan on doing more. And yeah, the idea is kind of to learn those skills without and being able to fly the like higher performance canopies, but not having to put on 30 pounds of weight to
Yeah,
keep some of the guys
yeah,
in the other ones. Kind of like learning that foundation and being able to fly. Yeah.
cool. Okay. Well, and I know, I mean, I think some of our listeners are a little bit newer skydivers, younger jumpers. So if you guys, if you're listening, if you have not checked out, if you're not familiar with Flight One, definitely go check out their website. Flight One, they have a lot of great resources and canopy coaching and courses. So a lot of great people. We've had quite a few people on the podcast that are Flight One instructors. A lot of really great people. I know some of the leadership team. Really good people. So go check them out if you haven't. There's a lot of good stuff there.
Leah,
JRuss?
yeah, Leah, if people wanted to get, I typed in Levity Reimagined on the chat, but if people wanted to get a hold of you, like for design work
Hmm.
or perhaps coaching, how would they reach out to you?
Yeah. If they want to reach out, let's see, they could hit me up at Leah at flyingpig.studio, and that's also for the website flyingpig.studio. That's the design media studio. The website hasn't been updated in a few years, but like it gives a good gist of what we do, who we are. So
Cool.
Flyingpig.studio. But
pig.studio.
isn't that the thing? Graphic designers, we never have time for our own stuff, right? I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah,
pretty
that,
typical.
that portfolio hasn't been updated in 4 years since we launched the website, but
Well, I'm looking at the website right now, and it's a very nice. It looks really good. It doesn't matter if it's been updated or not. It looks really cool. All right.
Sweet.
Well, I mean, that's it. We're at an hour and a half. You've done. If
yeah.
you're still with us, you've done it again. You've wasted a perfectly good hour and a half listening to the Crave Show with J. Russ, Chris, and Leah. Thanks for tuning in, Leah. Thank you so much for joining us. It's really
Thank you
nice
guys.
to meet you and hang out. That was fun.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for getting outside your comfort zone, Leah.
Yeah, had to hype myself up, but I did it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Perfect.
you guys get out there and have fun with your friends in the sky. And like Leah said earlier, remember this is a fun sport. Like just have fun. Get in the sky, jump out of an airplane. Isn't it so awesome to let go of the plane? Like just letting go. Ah, that's my favorite part. It's so great. All right. Y'all get out there and have fun. Thanks, you guys. Crave, do more, be better. Bye, you
See you
guys.
guys.